I've fed my family for like almost 4 years of strictly on content creation.
What is the possible range that a young person who wants to get into this can expect maybe once they grow their following?
But there are people making thousands of dollars, others are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. There are different monetization options that you have to unlock. If you don't unlock this, content creation will never make sense to you. But there are a lot of factors that are limiting us. Me, I went like 4 years with an account that is generating money and I'm not seeing anything from it because...
Is the Cameroonian audience too small to be able to monetize on?
You have 1 million views from Cameroon. It will not equate somebody's 100k views when the views are coming from a developed country.
Do you really feel that our local businesses, our SMEs or large corporates are really supporting the digital economy in the way that they should?
A lot of people don't understand the place of all of this in their businesses. So that is why a lot of them, when the business has crumbled, they now run to creators. There's a certain creator now who just did a small song and put on TikTok and it went viral, and I heard she was paid like $2 million in America.
But if I'm starting from zero, where would you advise me to start from?
First part, get another thing to do. You have to understand that it goes beyond the following that you have. It is about the quality of your platform.
Right? Which are some of the platforms that you would advise?
Facebook is traditional, but Instagram is not easy. One of the things that we face here is because we did not embrace Instagram. I never saw money. Not because I was not making money from that platform, but because I made too many errors that it had to block the monetization. So I was seeing that money, but I could not. So it took me a long time. We are now succeeding. All you need is someone. Mindset is very important in content creation. Don't undermine how much this thing can send somebody into depression. Yeah. And the worst is when you go viral unprepared. I produce. It is not the content controlling me. It is me controlling it. Everybody in this space that is using you because they feel that you are relevant to their stuff. If you're no longer relevant, they will not call you for anything. If you want the most deals within this community, then you have to
Are you interested in the business of creating content and making money online? Are you interested in how you can compete with larger creators, make money online, and be able to live the life of your dreams? Then this conversation is for you. Stick with me. Today, I have someone who is a creator with over 1 million followers across platforms. Someone who has been creating for so many years and knows all the tricks and how to go from zero to getting the followers that you need to be able to get revenue online and create a life for yourself through content creation. You may know him from viral clips, such as the one you see here.
Count me out of anything that has to do with flat tummy. You understand? I'm not a member of that committee. I will never be a member of that committee. The tummy was never meant to be flat. You understand? I'm not a snake. It has never mattered in heaven, and it will not matter. Now, my case cannot be different. Now, get out. Get out.
Thank you for coming to the BIIG Africa Podcast, Mr. Ndze.
Thank you so much, BIIG Africa Podcast. My pleasure to be here.
It's amazing. It's amazing to have you. But let's go straight into it. You're a creator. Okay. And this is it's an exciting lifestyle, an exciting new profession for especially young people. But is this something that can, in our environment, be profitable? Is this a new career path that someone can count on?
This is one of the most exciting. I give credit to COVID. You know, when COVID came around and a lot of people, you know, were away from their jobs, people left the streets, everybody was home, and then people like us discovered that hey, we had some talent that we could put out there, and today we are all creators. And I think this is part of what we call tapping into the gold mine, which is of course is what we have now. This is the gold mine. The social media is a gold mine that is available for every young person. As long as you have a phone, as long as you have megabytes on your phone, as long as you have accounts on all the social media platforms, you can create something, and you never know where it can take you or lead you to. And that's what we're benefiting from today. And you see, everybody is creating and doing something on social media.
Yeah, that's so true. I think nowadays creation is really the in thing. But again, looking at it from a professional financial aspect.
Right.
For example, in terms of income range that you can get from being a creator full time. I'm talking about a full time creator who has no other job, and this is just what they do 24/7.
Yeah.
Like, what is the possible range that a young person who wants to get into this can expect? Maybe once they grow their following.
I would say that first of all, keeping expectations. Having those expectations before you get into content creation is a little bit tricky, because when it comes to content creation, it would become part-time until it becomes full-time, because you don't know when this platform would get to the point where it would start generating you the income that is necessary. But however, it is not a bad thing to have expectations, but then you must understand that we have a lot of creators that have made it on this space. There are a lot of people on YouTube, there are a lot of people on Facebook who are actually tapping into their audience and getting a huge, bank check every month from those platforms. But however, there's no range. You just have to be very intentional and understand that getting a platform puts you in a position where you can tap into different forms of monetization. Of course, that may come from the platform, may come from the deals that you get, and may also come from your relationship that you build based on the kind of audience that you attract, which could possibly lead to business deals, or you yourself using the platform to sell a business. So in a way, you can't really put an expectation when it comes to amount that you get out of it. But I can tell you for sure that creators who are very, very active on this space, they are comfortable.
Comfortable.
Yes.
So you don't want to. How comfortable?
Well, I can't say how comfortable, because let me put it this way: comfortable in terms that this thing can pay your bills. This thing can, upgrade. In terms of upgrade, you can upgrade your lifestyle. It opens doors to places where on a normal day, trust me, you will not be able to get into those places. There are a number of people that you connect with your content that become your friends and give you access towards them, or access to them, that on a normal day, trust me, without this influence that you've gained from your social media platform, you will not have access to those. So that is how it works. I can't give you figures. But there are people making thousands of dollars, others are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. An average content creator who is on this thing, and if you build a successful audience and have brands that you're working with over time, I think that an average Cameroonian, you can live a comfortable life as an average Cameroonian. I mean, you can pay house rent, you can eat good food, you can dress a little bit, and you can have some change that you reserve for the future, of course. I think I've fed my family for like almost 4 years of strictly on content creation. Wow. Yes.
That's great. That's great. So especially for young people who are thinking to get into this, I think that's really good to know. Of course, like you said, it really depends on how much work you're willing to put in. Of course, you manage your expectations from the start, and how much you really are willing to go in to make sure that you don't only depend on the platforms, but you look for other avenues to monetize yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good to know. So in terms of the specifics of that, in our context, right? People always say you should focus on specific niches, which are, of course, doing much better than others. So which are some of these niches that you think, in the Cameroonian African context, do much better than others?
Okay. When I started doing comedy, I realized that a lot of people are depressed. Depression is not only for poor people, because I know that when you come to the Cameroon context, most of the time, most of us feel depressed only when we are broke, bro. You feel like life is, but I realized that I met people who tell me sometimes, you don't know what your content is doing to me. I get off work, I come back, and your content is what I'm looking forward to. I have a bad day, I'm sad, I'm lonely, especially people in the diaspora. They make all of that money, but they don't have a social life in most of the time. They don't have social life. Some people don't even have anybody that they can see that having a conversation with. So when they come to these platforms, they see you, especially those who are streaming at this point, they get a lot of audience from these people. However, this is this is an avenue as young people that we can exploit. Comedy is one of those aspects. Everybody is laughing about something. Everybody looking forward. Africa, the first stress people. So they want something to laugh about. You can use comedy. Part of the niches that makes a lot of sense, if you're blogging about health is one of those areas that are unexploited. These days we're looking for information about health, especially women. Women take care of their health. I'm telling you, men are crazy. Men don't care about health. How many times do we even go for checkups and things like that? So people who are blogging in those directions, trust me, they have a lot that they are getting out of it. And we also have a huge diaspora that is looking for platforms that can talk about investment opportunities that are back home. So if you are creating an informative platform, those days we used to really have platforms that will talk about relationships and things like that. But trust me, if you want to really cash out on the relationship side, then you have to be talking for women. If you are talking everything about women, they agree. They are everywhere. If you're talking for men, trust me, women come against you. So these are some of those niches that people should exploit. Sports as well. Everybody, the betting now is another thing. Everybody is betting. Women are betting. Gone are those days where you say only men bet. Women now bet more than men. So you see the increased support for sports all over the world. So everybody that associates themselves to a particular kind of club and blogs very well about that club, you discover that they are getting so much attention that comes from it. I think those are some niches that, I could cite. I can't possibly cite everything, but those are areas where people get to. And of course, informative things about content creation like this when we are talking. People will talk about using AI to monetize. People talk about monetization on platforms, and people of course who express these whole ideas, encouraging and teaching people the way on how to monetize and navigate through social media. I think this kind of content they are really, really doing well these days.
Okay. Yeah. And in terms of beyond the niches, in terms of the platforms, right? Which are some of the platforms that you would advise someone who is looking to get into the business to really focus on, to make sure that they can grow their following and potentially earn revenue at some point?
Okay, Facebook is traditional. If you're not building a Facebook platform, at some point it will look like you're not doing anything. People around this space, they will not tag you as an entertainer. They will tag you to other names. They will tag people to YouTuber. They will tag you to TikToker. They will never tag you to be an entertainer. So Facebook is a traditional platform, of course. Though over time everybody's creating on Facebook, and in terms of revenue that you generate per post is dropping. The monetization features are dropping every day because everybody's creating something. But I think that one of the most useful platforms for a starter is TikTok. I know people have a lot of misconceptions about TikTok. They say TikTok is, people say a lot of things, but trust me, it's a blessing. Because TikTok gives, over time, as creators, we only had to deal with, people that your geographical environment. Before your content will cross borders, it becomes a huge problem. Sometimes you will need to pay bloggers from different countries to share your content across their audience. But TikTok is universal. Everybody, there is no single TikToker that doesn't have a mixture of different communities and different countries within their following. It means you have the potential of cutting across. And that gives you the support that you need as a content creator, because this one is watching this way, this one is watching this way, this one is watching this way, and then you can build a community for yourself that will be very, very active. So if I talk something in Cameroonians, they know like at least Kenyans will. If I talk something with Kenyans, don't like Cameroonians will resonate with it. So it's one of those platforms that is very, very important. YouTube as well. That's another traditional platform. Of course, for now, I still think that they pay more. If someone is looking in terms of monetization, that is another platform that they have to be with. Instagram is there, but Instagram is not easy. One of the things that we face here is because we did not embrace Instagram. Nigerians embraced Instagram more. Other Africans, South Africans embraced Instagram more, and we were slow within the community. So now for us to catch up on Instagram is not easy. But over time, if you're consistent on the platform, you will get some following if your content is good. So these platforms are very, very necessary. I know there are other platforms, which of course I have not mentioned or I don't know about. But I think TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube with Instagram, those are the platforms where, as a creator, you have to have an account on those platforms and upload regularly.
Yeah. Okay. Look, coming back to what you talked about revenue and people making money, I think there's I don't know if it's a misconception, I should say, or if it's something that people say, that of course you have a lot of creators who are not doing so well, who are cannot be able to take care of themselves, and I think this is of course not specific to the Cameroonian audience, but I think there's a misconception that the Cameroonian audience is a bit small, compared to, for example, others like the Nigerian ones. But what do you think of that? Is the Cameroonian audience too small to be able to monetize on?
Part of it is not, I don't think is about, Cameroon has more population than some countries in Europe, which of course they are monetized. Mm-hmm. So it's not a matter of population. I feel it's much more of the demographics. If you look at most French, we are considered French in a lot of things, especially internationally. And it will depend on if the platform sees the potential of them having a market in terms of adverts and doing one or two things within that community. Yeah. And looking at where we are, I would say that we have a huge diaspora, which of course can contribute greatly to a creator's revenue when it comes to these platforms. Yeah. When you look at, because even if you look at Africa, for instance, I drop a video on YouTube, you have 1 million views from Cameroon. It will not equate somebody's 100K views when the views are coming from a developed country, or the people who watch came from Europe or America, all of these places. So it's not like we are small, but there are a lot of factors that are limiting us. We don't even have, I don't want to go into a lot of things, but look at the banking system. We don't even have platforms that you ask an average Cameroonian 5 out of, or 10 out of, young people, do you have an account? You have a bank account. Just like one person has, or out of the 10, none of them even has. The highest we tell is that they have Momo. So there are a lot of platforms we cannot even subscribe to support creators that are there. So we are limited in a lot of ways. But then our diaspora is huge, which of course every smart creator can tap into the opportunities that can come from the diaspora. And one thing about the diaspora is they are hungry for home content. So you have to be there. You have to be consistent. You have to put it out. We're not small. It's just the limitations that we have within this. And I don't know what steps the government or individuals take. But I think I know a few people, like Agbo Gibet, a few people that have gone to a number of places, Google, gone to YouTube, gone to a number of places to talk on behalf of Cameroon and see if monetization can come. But every smart creator now should know that there are ways of beating around this thing, which we've been doing. Me, I went like 4 years with an account that is generating money and I'm not seeing anything from it because I was ignorant. So they give you these restrictions and tell you are in a country where it's not monetized, but you are creating for them. But over time, we've learned how to beat these things. So we are now succeeding. All you need is someone that can be able to cash out for you, and you use whatever your VPNs and all of that and beat around the system, and we're good. So we're not small. Nigeria is there. Nigeria has its own problems. They have a lot of creators. It is not easy for them to integrate. Other countries are the same. But we have the potential to go across Africa with the content that we produce in this country. We're extremely talented people. We are people who have a diverse culture. We are people that can talk about every other African country without blinking. We are very smart. But if you go around, even these African countries can't talk about us. So we have the potential of cutting across and hitting a huge crowd. All we need to do is be conscious of what we're doing and be intentional. We're not small.
That's very true. I think definitely, just like you said, it boils down to the business opportunity that the platform sees. Because of course, YouTube, Facebook, all of them are businesses, and they're looking at how to also make money, how to cash out from adverts and all of that come from the country.
Right.
And I think it brings me back to what we were talking about earlier before we started the conversation about how local businesses are integrating themselves into the creator economy, into the digital space. Do you really feel that our local businesses, our SMEs or large corporates are really supporting the digital economy in the way that they should?
They're not. It doesn't come. It comes from ignorance. Let me put it that way. They still don't. We're moving from analog to digital. And a lot of people don't understand the place of all of this in their businesses. So it is hard sometimes for you to convince them. If you go and tell somebody that, hey, my name is Mr. Ndze, I have over 1 million followers across all my social media platforms, and I have maybe close to 17 or 18 million people reach every 28 days, and you put that kind of conversation, they will be looking at you as if you're mad. But these are numbers that they can exploit for their businesses. Just like a lot of creators hit over 100 million. This platform may hit over 50, 60 million. Yeah. But if they do not see the potential of marketing, they feel that you need to market only when a business is down. That is the problem that they feel. But they don't understand that you need to exploit the market more when the business is up, because there is another business that is studying you somewhere and they will pop up. Mm-hmm. When you're hitting the market, when the market is hot, you hit from a very reasonable point. You don't hit out of desperation. So that is why a lot of them, when the business has crumbled, they now run to creators. That's when they come to a creator. And then you are expecting the creator to revive that business from where the business is sleeping on the floor. But if that creator was there to give the business the steam that they needed when the business was functional, then it will maintain that same level, or either it would grow from that position. So this is part of the things. They don't integrate creators too much within their system, and which of course is one of the reasons why, we don't have creators going overboard to do a lot of things. They don't have those resources. You create, your intuition work every 2 seconds when money dey. But when money no dey, then even the ability to think, you get for drop them, you must chop now. Yeah. So I feel like if they start integrating, the economy would make more sense. Creators, I made a comment sometimes, said even ministries need to incorporate people within the system that are versed with social media and because social media is very, very powerful. Politicians are using it. There's a certain politician that I don't want to call country. I don't used to like that man. I followed through the elections. I did not like him. But how actively his PRO used social media, brought out some very funny things about his speeches. I started liking him without knowing how I loved him. There's a certain creator now who just did a small song and put on TikTok, and it went viral, and I heard she was paid like $2 million in America. And that company did not sleep on her. Other companies are not sleeping. They took advantage. These companies are big, but they understand that there is always something. If I discover that I can make extra money through somebody, let me go all in. For here, the strong hand, everybody. The strong hand. The strong hand.
Yeah, and I think you what you really said was true. The culture of advertising is more looking at how to revive a dead business rather than always thinking of growth. Because even when your business is big, it can always get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the more you put it out there, of course, it brings more opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You see a lot of, but I feel the telecom companies and other companies, they've been the big ones. They integrate a few artists and they bring within, but that's still not enough. Yeah, I know that we don't have one of the things as well is that the people that are in the business part who are controlling business in Cameroon, they just don't see a need in things like that. So that is where the problem is. People who have the money don't see the need. But otherwise, if you go to other countries, you see every day they sign this creator, they are signing this creator for a deal, they are signing this one for a deal. Here you have to work extra hard. Sometimes in other areas, deals will chase creators. Here is creators chasing deals up and down. You chase deals. You explain your life. You explain that. They look at you and tell you, we'll call you. Let's have a brief conversation. We'll call you. They will talk to you. We have your number here, okay? We'll call you. And they never do. And then they pop up one morning when the business is down. And they say, come and revive it. You come there, take a 3 months or 6 months contract or 1 year contract. And they are putting you pressure. They want you to turn your platform into their business platform. And then I'm like, if I turn my platform into promoting your business every day to revive it, people came to that platform for a specific kind of content. Yeah. So imagine the people disappearing from that platform because I'm not posting the content that I used to build that platform. Yeah. So adverts should go more when the business is doing well than when the business is crumbling. Yeah.
That's true. And of course, looking at it beyond just adverts, right? Looking at it as a creator beyond adverts, beyond the businesses supporting you. What are some other ways that someone can monetize beyond the platforms, beyond businesses? What are some other ways that you can monetize your audience?
Okay. It's almost the same thing. Boiling back to the first question that we had. There are different monetization options that you have to unlock. As a creator, if you don't unlock these different options, trust me, content creation will never make sense to you. First, if you're depending on views and getting paid by a platform, now you discover that there's a day I have like 1 million views on certain posts on Facebook and it's not up to $5. I'm not blabbing. Now they will start giving you reasons. It's a 15-second video. It's like these people watch for. So all of these things. Now you have to understand that it goes beyond the following that you have. It goes beyond the size of your platform. It is about the quality of your platform. Who are those who are following the platform? And if you successfully unlock a certain quality of people on your platform, that's why I speak a lot on positive content most of the time. Selling yourself positively. The biggest currency of every platform is integrity. Once you can gain integrity, then every other business, whether you're advertising your personal business, which of course you can use your platform to do so, you can use your platform to have access to a lot of people that would bring business to you. You can use your platform to advertise for other companies and other businesses, and people will patronize because of the integrity of that platform, because they believe that for this platform to have posted this, it means that we going in all in for that business, we are safe. You get? Yeah. Another option of it is, as a creator, you have to be very, very smart enough to understand these platforms. You will not be there forever. Somebody will come. Yeah. So when you get that spotlight, you have to use it very, very well. You have to use that time on that, whatever you need to sell it. You have to understand that you have the business of staying relevant on the platform. You can be popular but not relevant. You can be very popular but you're not relevant. People can know you everywhere.
How is that possible?
Okay. Relevance is not being known. Relevance is being able to control the opinions of people. Being able to talk and people listen. I can be very popular for something that doesn't make sense. Everybody knows me, but I don't have the power to influence people towards a particular direction. Which, of course, you need it. And other forms of monetization that there, besides getting from the platform, as a creator, if you master the art of creating content, there are a lot of things that you do for free that you will not. Like, if it's not this podcast, I will not be sharing all of these things. I should sit somewhere and somebody give me money and put it in my pocket and I to tell them all of these things. That's part of it. People make money from teaching other people about the platform. You can also, if you're very good, you understand AI has come today. People are creating a lot of faceless content. If you're very smart in building platforms, you can build platforms as well and sell out to people. But the core and the most of what you get from social media is the quality of following that you have. That quality of following can give you the deals that will set you up for life. Because if you depend on how much a platform pays you, that platform, if you ban them, you wake up one morning, it's banned, and then you have to start from scratch. So focus on building a brand. The brand is what determines who is coming close to you, who is giving you what are they giving you, and how much you get paid for it. Two of us can be in this business. You have 1 million followers. I have 20K followers. But they will pay me more for a deal than you because I successfully built a name and a brand, and that doesn't come easy. It comes with you being known for something and building a positive audience towards yourself.
Yeah.
So that is how much. And I always advise, especially where we are, a creator should think far. You cannot rely on content creation 100% if it's not capable of paying the bills, it's not capable of footing the lifestyle that you carve for yourself. You cannot rely on it 100%. But you can use the popularity that you get to sell whatever thing you're doing. So it will be a part-time till it becomes full-time. But then stick to unlock these different features that I've said. And it will help you. Someday it can just become full-time.
Yeah. Wow, that's really great advice.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So looking at from your own end, looking at some of the mistakes you may have made as a creator, what are some mistakes that you've really made, and was there ever a time when you really regretted maybe I shouldn't have started this career as a content creator?
Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. The first mistake was I just did not know why I was on social media. That was the first mistake. So, this thing, I told you this thing came from the COVID. I was doing this thing, but it became intense during COVID. Then, when you don't know why you're on social media, you make a lot of mistakes in the beginning that can possibly affect you in the future. And one of those mistakes is you have a platform, you don't know why you have a platform, you don't know what you want to do with that platform, and then you wake up one morning and the platform starts making sense. So you are left with an audience that you just don't know what to do with the audience. Then you make too many mistakes, from the professional standpoint, there are a lot of mistakes. You handle the platforms wrongly. Yeah. And I told you that I went for like 4 years on Facebook. I never saw money. Not because I was not making money from that platform, but because I made too many errors that it had to block the monetization. So I was seeing that money, but I could not. So it took me a long time. But if I started this thing well coordinated, knowing what I'm here for, there are a lot of errors I would have kept aside. And then secondly, I've navigated all through the process. I've not had the same content over time. So I feel, at some point, I always feel like maybe I would have, because there is a tendency, especially around the community that we are in, if you want the most deals within this community, then you have to stay local. You have to stay local. If you start going international, if you try to hit the international audience, then you lose the local a little bit. So the only blessing is that TikTok keeps the local in a certain way. But the traditional that we have within this community is Facebook. So one of the mistakes that I made is I I did not strike the balance of working on both platforms like actively like I should have done so. Yeah. So if you are somebody that needs to benefit from the Cameroonian audience and benefit from your international audience, then you have to keep a balance on your activities when you're working on TikTok and working on Facebook. So I went more to TikTok. And then part of the mistakes that I made, as a creator was management. Management is very important. Don't ever ignore the importance of management. Management doesn't have to be a group. Management you have somebody that you can consult with and have conversations with. Now, there are a lot of brands that already have a price value for me because at the time they contacted me at some point, it may be 2 years ago, it may be 3 years ago, I was not keen enough to understand the value that I bring to the table. So I undercharged myself to that point where now, for you to convince them, since you already did that work for free, or at almost nothing, for you to convince them that I've added so much value and this is me now at this point, is very hard. So management or somebody that you can talk to is very, very important. And I think those are some of the challenges that, or some of the mistakes that I made within this journey. And I think over the years, we've been able to fix a few things. Others are not fixable. Others, you just have to deal with it and incorporate, other things within the brand. But those are part of the issues that I faced. Or the errors that I committed.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's cool. It's important.
So I think in that same vein, looking at some of the mistakes, I know that for a lot of creators, and we're talking about this earlier, sometimes you can create and then you get very successful in doing one thing, and then you want to continue chasing that success, which then leads you to trying to replicate the same thing over and over again, and or getting depressed if maybe your new material is not getting the same level of popularity as some other old material. Have you had to struggle with those types of situations?
To be honest, I tell people this platform not be a targeter. It's not your father's platform. Even Facebook, TikTok, go and check. They have accounts on this platform. Sometimes they post, it doesn't go viral. Sometimes they post and some of your videos are even doing better than theirs. So it's not your father's platform. There will always be those high and lows within it. People who have stayed constant on this platform and they are raking in numbers day in, day out is because they have management and they have a lot of money which they inject within the system to keep engagements going. Otherwise, it's a lie. So if you think that you just, because you are super intelligent or you're super creative, you come and stay on a platform and everything you're doing makes sense, trust me, you are joking. So I tell people that adopting mindset is very important in content creation. Don't undermine how much this thing can send somebody into depression. There's a lot of things that come with fame. And if you're not mentally mature to handle it, you will be depressed. We've had young creators within the community, they just left and they are now talking something that we don't understand. They are talking off as they talk for quarter. Because they used to have these engagements, have this attention, but now it doesn't work. Now, these platforms have a way of operating. Me, who used to have 1 million views, I put a video, the next 1 minute, 10K views, 20K views, is raking in views. And at some point, you start posting, only you and your 3 or 5 neighbors and watch them. You change to something. You get some attention. Like I told you, the peak of your frustration is not the fact that you're not getting engagement. It's when you go viral on a video. Yeah. And the worst is when you go viral unprepared. If one of my videos, now when my video is raking 1 million views, it's normal for me. It may bring in so much, it's something I'm supposed to be happy about, but I'm not. Because I don't want the excitement coming from a particular content to be the determinant of what I put on social media. I don't want to be controlled by. I produce. It is not the content controlling me. It is me controlling it. So if I see that, okay, this trend, this line I'm reproducing in this line is doing something, over time, I know when to stop. I know when to stop. Usually, I don't blog about football, but sometimes when it's AFCON time, people are looking for me up and down because they understand, all right, this guy will create something funny about this. After AFCON, I'm gone. I don't go and sit there. I'm like, they used to like this and every day. You will not get those engagements. And know that people, when something is too much, they get tired, they know the outcome, it becomes boring and they can no longer enjoy it. So even if you have a number of followers or supporters that keep going back to that particular content, you have to always be working to do something new. Bring something new to the table. Unlock another side of you. Unlock a different kind of content. You have to ensure that you satisfy your audience and gain more audience. Every content that we've done brings in. So that frustration is very, very normal. And my advice is always, you need to understand this thing is temporal. That's why I said here, once you go up, take advantage of it. If you're training, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Get as much as you can from that time. There's always somebody that will come after you. So if you don't position yourself as a creator, that is why I spoke about don't build following, build a brand, build a name. That is why there are creators that even if they stop creating today, there are still people who will still show up for them, who will still support them every time their name is mentioned, even if they stop creating. It's because they build a name. But if you focus on following, once you no longer create, they forget about you and the next person, they pick on the next person. That's where that frustration comes in. So young people that are creators, don't be in a haste. Your goal should not be to trend. Your goal should not be to amass following. Your goal should be to build a brand and build a name so that it becomes sustainable. A brand is sustainable, but the platform is not. So if I lose my platform today, I can build it back because of the name. If I just go and say, hey, guys, I've lost my platform. This is my new page. They'll follow. A number of people. It will take me a lesser time to build it than somebody who just had a platform. There are people who are building faceless platforms. Nobody knows them. If they post their face, nobody will like it. So that is part of it. You have to know that this is not your father's platform. So every step of the way, the little that you get, invest it in something. They pay you for the deal 50K. Don't take the 50K and go and finish it, or you think tomorrow you will still get 50K. Everybody in this space that is using you because they feel that you are relevant to their stuff. If you're no longer relevant, they will not call you for anything. So if you're here, you're watching me, you're thinking that, I still have a platform now, they call me for this every week. In your mind, you think you'll continue. It's like, I'm not going to continue. Some other person is coming next year or next month or next week. Will take your place. Businesses will go for them. They'll forget about you. If the little that we're making out of, you don't invest in other things or you don't try to do one or two things. Frustration, depression.
So yeah, you talked about investing in other things. So what else does Mr. Ndze do? Your free time, what else do you invest in? What are some other activities that you do on a day-to-day?
I'm into business. I don't sleep on business. Maybe you should have used what I say, Yusuf.
Yeah.
Well, I do work for a real estate company on a temporary basis because most of the times Cameroon not easy. We have to work by. So I work for a real estate company. I also do my own personal businesses. We have we do cakes, pastries. I also host events as an MC, and I run a lot of personal stuff. And those are just a little bit. If I start naming the things that I do, they're plenty. But all of this is because it came from media. The fact that I know I can sell anything now on media. So I've used that. I don't sleep on it. I'm monetizing my audience. I'm not joking. There are a number of people from the diaspora today. I go check out their properties. I go acquire properties for some of them. And some of them have never seen me. That's part of the business. So currently, it is using my platform to take money out of the audience who believe in what I do. So these are the businesses that I'm doing. Right. So if somebody goes and they're sleeping on their audience, you have an audience that can change your life. People will not give you money like that.
Yeah.
And somebody will not just sit and say, "Ma, give the petit frère 1 million," or "Ma, give the petit frère 2 million." No, they will not do it. But if you show them that you can offer a service that they need, they'll come. Yeah. They'll come. So I don't sleep. I keep working.
So yeah, that's great. It's great that you're involved in all these things and you're able to find time in addition to, of course, all the content that you push out regularly. So just looking at things again, as for example, the next steps for a young person. Let's say I'm a young person. I'm in my early 20s and I'm trying to get started as a content creator. I have no ideas, no equipment, no nothing. But if I'm starting from zero, where would you advise me to start from, and how would you advise me to really focus on the things that matter instead of those that are going to be a waste of time?
First part, get another thing to do with your life besides the content creation. That's the first advice I'll give you, so that you don't become desperate. The next advice is create a platform on the 4 that we mentioned earlier. Have a YouTube, have a Facebook, have an Instagram, have a TikTok account. The next is understand all of these platforms, how they function. TikTok functions, the support app to TikTok is WhatsApp. It means a lot of the views and content and followers that you get is because somebody shared your video to their WhatsApp status. So understand that if somebody is sharing to WhatsApp, it means that the video is capable of just uploading once on WhatsApp. They don't have to cut and cut and cut and cut to upload. So most of the videos you do, ensure that are 30 seconds videos or 1 minute videos. Put it on the app. Go to Facebook, you understand the mechanics of Facebook. You go to Instagram, you understand the mechanics of Instagram. But the good thing about Instagram and TikTok is that they are almost the same thing. So you don't have so much stress as a creator trying to create different things from different angles. You can create the same thing and divide across. Facebook has broad Reels, which of course Reels will give you more followers, just like TikTok is doing and like what Instagram is doing. Understand all of these platforms. YouTube has brought in Shorts. So it makes it very possible. And I say that as a young creator, understand that people don't yet know you. And there are millions upon millions of content that are uploaded every second. People only stop for too long where they trust, the face they trust. And that's the face they have previously listened to. So try as much as possible to don't make your content too long. Don't make it too long while you're still trying to put a face. Put a lot of catchy phrases. The first 1 second of your video determines whether we are watching or we are not watching. How you introduce your video will determine whether I'm staying for the next few seconds or not. So if I come and I'm introducing a video, good morning, my name is Miss Ndze, nobody's watching that thing. Yeah. But if I came 5 ways on how to succeed as a content creator, there's somebody that wants to listen. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever that you're watching me. Today we are talking about 5 ways on which you do 5. Nobody's going to listen to all of that. So as a young creator, first get a job so that you don't be stressed. Study these platforms, understand these platforms, and don't have any pressure. Nobody knows when they're going to blow up. Some people will blow, some people will never blow. But nobody knows when they're going to blow up. Understand why you are on these platforms. And if there are any creators which are in your line or in your niche, follow them. Don't try to, you may have so much inside, but don't try to feel that you will walk on this space without learning from other people. You will not. Visit their own platforms as well. And of course, try as much as possible. If you have all the material that you need over time, then that's cool. It's money. Content creation is money. To put studio like this, buy all of these things is money. Know that at some point you would invest. So it's small. Don't stress yourself. No pressure. When you blow, you blow. When you blow, you blow. And stay humble at all times. The more you grow as a content creator, the more humble you should become. Your numbers should not make you feel proud. Or should not make you feel like, hey, I'm too big. I can no longer associate. If I associate with people, the brand. No. If you want to stay on this pace, gain the respect that you get over time. Don't be humble because you're starting. Be humble because you're a naturally humble person. Over time, even if you get to that point, stay humble. There's a lot that you don't know. Even if you get to the top, you will not get it. Only those who have been there from the beginning, they will be like this and put you back on track. So that's another part of it.
Thank you for that really great advice, Mr. Ndze. And thank you very much for joining us today on the BIIG Africa Podcast. It's really been a great pleasure listening to you.
Thank you. I would want to come back to BIIG Africa Podcast. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The future of the digital economy will depend on creators like yourself. You've listened to Mr. Ndze, who has been so insightful on how you can grow from zero to becoming a paid creator and be able to take care of yourself and your family through the business of content creation. We thank Mr. Ndze for his insights. And if you've enjoyed this conversation, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for even more insightful content like this brought to you every week on the BIIG Africa Podcast. Thank you.